Okay, for the pump bracket, a couple of things I want to point out is there's a top and a bottom and a left and a right. And what I mean by that is the bracket was made so it can go on this side of the frame or the other side of the frame. But what you have to be careful for is that there's a front side and a back side. If you'll notice on this side, there's some larger holes, and that's for access to putting the nuts on. Same with over on this side here, you'll notice there's some larger holes. That's so it can fit over these bolts. Okay, so again, it can go on either side, left or right, but just be careful of the top and the front and the back. You got the longer bolts. There's 3 holes, and we're just going to go ahead and get one of these started. It's going to run through the channel. It's going to go into the frame channel. And then what we're going to do to gain access for the cap nut is we're going to take the front cover off, and then we'll start bolting things down. And again, 3 here, and then we'll mount the other one as well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount the brackets for the color change valves for the inside pumps. I like to do it now because once we mount the outside pumps, it's a little less access to this area. So right now it's nice and clean. So there's a couple of sets of holes on this bracket. You'll notice there's a set of holes at the top and there's 2 sets at the bottom. There's a slotted set, and then, so these are the ones we're going to use on the bottom, and then we'll use the top ones for up here. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and mount the color change valves, one on each side. There's going to be, this one is the 6 color, all right? So 1 color change valve on this side, and 1 color change valve on this side with bolts that go all the way through. Keep in mind that the 1 set of color changes for the inlet of the pump, and the other set of color change valves is for the outlet of the pump. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the color change valves to the pumps. One little tip, keep in mind when you're mounting these color change valves is hold them up just a little bit higher. You'll notice that we've got the fittings on the back side here for the fluid inlet from your paint supply, and you want to make sure that there's enough clearance between the frame and the fitting. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 hoses that we have, and I'm going to connect to the inlet, to the outlet of the inlet color change valve, and I'm going to connect to the inlet of the outlet color change valve. All right, next thing I'm going to do is we're going to actually connect these to the pumps. And we've got 2 fittings on the pumps. The inlet, they're marked on the pump, so you can just read the markings to find it, but a quick reference is the inlet's going to have the pressure gauge on it, and the outlet's going to have the pressure transducer. So once again, I'm going to take the hose that's coming from the inlet color change valve, and we're going to go ahead and connect it to the inlet of the pump. And then from the outlet of the pump is going to go to the inlet of the outlet color change valve. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat the process the same way for the catalyst pump. Okay, now that we have everything secure and tight, I just want to take a minute and talk about the fluid flow from the color change valves through the pump one more time. On the back side here, again, this is our inlet color change valves. So from our paint kitchen or from our paint supply, all the color paints are going to come into these back lines right here. The color that's selected is going to come out of the outlet port, and it's going to flow through this hose to the inlet of the pump. At the outlet of the pump, we're going to come back out through this hose into the outlet color change valves, and whatever is the corresponding correct valve for the color, that valve that's being selected, that valve is going to open and send paint out to the point of application, be it the robot or the manual application, whichever one you're using.